ready. Last time you saw Colton and myself here, it was very hectic. We had lots of tornadoes come through on Tuesday, and they're still assessing the damage from that, right?
They are, you know, the National Weather Service. So there's a couple of different, I need to create a graphic eventually one day.
Okay, I was going to ask you what graphic you were talking about making on Tuesday, because you said the same thing. I need to make a graphic about that, and then I forgot yesterday.
Oh gosh, yeah, what was that?
I don't know. If you remember, I'll go back and watch the live stream from it.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of what it was.
It's going to bother us now. It's going to be one of those
It
things.
is going to bother me because I make a lot of graphics.
I know.
So, yeah, I don't remember. It might have been what I'm kind of thinking of creating is a graphic that just shows which National Weather Service office covers which area.
Okay.
Because here in mid-Michigan, we have 3. So we have Grand Rapids covers some of the counties, most of the counties. Detroit covers Livingston County and Shiawassee County. And then we have Northern Indiana, which covers the very southern part of the state, which includes Hillsdale and Branch counties. So you have these different entities that are out operating, and some of these are rating the tornadoes. So you had Grand Rapids out yesterday, you had Northern Indiana out yesterday, and I have seen that Northern Indiana is out again today, the people from that Weather Service office in Michigan, to work on damage surveys. So whether or not we get another tornado out of that, I'm not sure. We don't know yet. But I have gone through the storm reports and just wanted to show you. At this point, it looks like there were 4. The 4th one is the EF2. I put a little asterisk next to it. It's kind of confusing. I'm not entirely sure how they have rated. The one near Dowagiac that was confirmed, the Portage tornado was confirmed, and then the other one that's over in Branch County also confirmed, the EF1.
Portage is that one right underneath Kalamazoo.
Correct.
Okay.
And so the EF2 that I have the asterisk next to, they basically said there was a tornado, but they haven't released any information on it. At least that's how I interpret it. I don't think it's the same tornado that hit further to the north and east. So we're going to await official details. So 4 technically, but we'll see the official numbers still to come with that. So I just want to give you an update because we did see some of these damage surveys come out. So what this is, and I can kind of explain it to you, is that the National Weather Service, after a likely tornado is hit, they literally go out and look at the damage and determine whether or not, A, if it was a tornado, and B, how strong the tornado was. And they do it based on different types of damage, what they see. You know, if trees are completely knocked down, if a house loses its roof, or it's wiped off the foundation, or things like that, that kind of goes into the ranking, and then they will rank it an EF0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And so we were likely in that EF1 to EF2 range with the tornadoes that we saw back on Tuesday. 4 more tornadoes to our total. I have to look up how many we've seen so far in the state this year, but it's quite a bit. A very active start to our severe weather season so far. But you know, today the weather has been a lot more quiet. No severe weather, but we have been dealing with some rain, and temperatures are just so much cooler. It's almost hard to swallow here because yesterday we had one of the nicest days of the year. Sunshine,
so nice,
temperatures in the 70s. It was beautiful yesterday. Today's just a little different. We have temperatures in the 50s. Jackson right now seeing some rain come down. Even I noticed, I just stepped out for my lunch break in Lansing, seeing a few sprinkles in Lansing as well. A lot of the rain though today has been staying in southern parts of the area. It's been kind of almost an all-day thing south of Lansing. But now we are starting to see a few showers try to work their way in. Into parts of Ingham County, getting close to that Clinton County line at this time. So we do have some rain around. I would prepare for some showers as we go through the next several hours here. I don't think it's a complete washout, but certainly we're going to see some rain over the next couple of hours across the region. It won't be until later tonight that we kind of see that all move away. Temperatures warmer in the north because they haven't seen the rain. So we have upper 50s and lower 60s, 60 now in Owasso, and then much cooler lower 50s, 51 degrees in Hillsdale. Wow. That is chilly. And you know, I would like to go through my data.
You love your data.
So I went back and looked. The last time we saw a temperature in the 50s for a daytime high in Lansing was back in April 25th. So it has been a while, you know, over 2 weeks that we have seen temperatures this cool. So we'll see if we stay in the 50s. I think we might get to 60, but we'll keep an eye on it.
I want that like when I'm sleeping. Like that's good, like outside sweatshirt weather.
I agree. And you know, I was debating too, because I was going to put on my Facebook page whether or not today feels like fall or spring.
Why not both?
My opinion, I can't say fall yet because it hasn't been summer yet, right? So this feels like
that
spring.
Seems accurate.
I don't know. That's an interesting debate.
Can we call it faring?
Yeah, maybe we can combine the two. But looking at the hour-by-hour forecast, I think the rain eventually fades away here, probably by sunset, maybe a little after in southern parts of the area. And then once we get into tonight, I think that will actually quiet things down. And we may see some clearing overnight tonight. And that's something we'll need to keep an eye on. How fast do we clear out? We talk about something called radiational cooling, right? So that means basically the premise of it.
All about radiational cooling.
I do know a lot about radiational cooling.
Great.
Basically the process of whether or not we have clouds at night and how fast we cool down. If you don't have the clouds, you can cool down quicker. So that's something we'll keep an eye on tonight, because some areas may drop down into the upper 30s tonight, but most of us are in the lower 40s. Either way you look at it, Friday morning, a chilly start to the day, but tomorrow probably a couple of degrees warmer. Now this model, I don't like it. It keeps trying to suggest there could be a few drops of rain by the afternoon. I think for the most part we're dry. I can't say it's a 0% chance, but if I had to put something, I'd put like 10% chance. I don't think it's all that likely tomorrow, but there is another opportunity for some rain once we head into late Friday night into early Saturday. This will be our next storm system that comes into the region, so we'll see some showers in the morning and then possibly again in the afternoon on Saturday, as you can see here with this model. So I think Saturday probably a wetter day, not quite as warm either, upper 50s and lower 60s, but the good news is that we should dry out by the time we head into our Sunday, which of course is Mother's Day. And so the weather forecast for Sunday actually doesn't look too bad, but next week looks rather unsettled. And I mentioned this today on News 10 Today 11, is that I didn't want to increase rain chances for next week just yet. It's very unsettled. So there's a couple of systems that might come in. Our models are kind of all over the place with how it's going to shape out. So I put 40% right now. May need to go up, may need to come down. We'll keep an eye on it. But I'm not sold on all of the rain chances for next week at this point. So here's the weekend. Sunday, definitely the better day, which will take. All the moms deserve that, right? Yeah. We have a mostly sunny sky, high near 70, a very nice day for Sunday, for Mother's Day, which is some welcome news. If you have any plans for mom, want to take her out to lunch or breakfast or dinner or anything like that. But we will be turning a corner too as we head into next week. So we have 70 Sunday, and then we actually stay in the 60s and 70s next week. So we just have the next couple of days here with the cooler weather, 50s and 60s, and then we will start to warm up heading into next week. But I think today just feels a little bit cooler because of the fact that we didn't, yesterday we were in the 70s. And you know what? I just also realized that I forgot my jacket. So for Studio 10, it's going to be a little chilly out on the weather patio.
We will get you a jacket. We will get you something. We'll take care of you because you take care of us.
Yes. I'll have to go see if Creative has any additional.
You would remember your jacket if you had checked the First Alert weather app before you left your house.
The thing about it is I knew exactly what the weather was going to be today.
You probably should.
Still forgot it. So that would be fun. But yeah, download the News 10 First Alert weather app. Tuesday's a great example of why that can be so useful. You can get the updated forecast. You get push notifications, radar. You can also submit weather photos, which we had so many people send us photos on Tuesday. You can do that right in the First Alert weather app as well. So very useful. Hopefully you can download it. It is free in the Google Play and App Store, which is even better. I use the app personally, so I certainly hope that you are too. And we also post video updates in there. So if you missed the newscast, you missed us right here on News 10 Plus. You can watch the video and see an update. And we update that every couple of hours. So
this one was 13 minutes ago.
Yeah, so you get videos in there too. And sometimes we'll post like additional information in there. Like I know Darren every morning on Thursdays does the up north forecast. He puts that into the app as well.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to find a lot of these things, which is super useful. And you get forecasts for anywhere across the country. So
hour by hour. You scroll down, you get some radar. And then right here, when it is a First Alert weather day, you got school closings, of course. And then when it is a First Alert weather day, if you go right here, you can enter to win a First Alert weather umbrella, which I don't even have.
I don't either.
You should get one.
I will need one today.
And then right underneath that, right now it's blank, but that is actually where you submit your photos and videos. Of course, we do ask that you wait until it's safe to do so, but if you got like, we had doorbell camera of trees falling and stuff like that, or if hail is in your area, of course you want to get that as soon as you can before it starts like melting or whatever. And make sure you put it next to a household object. You guys prefer coins, I believe?
Yeah, certainly when it comes to hail, put it next to something that has a size that we all are familiar with.
Okay.
If you hold it in your hand, I don't know how big your hand is. You know, it could be a kid holding it for all I know. And same thing, the National Weather Service would tell you the same thing. So a lot of our hail is around 1 inch. Put it next to a quarter, put it next to a dime. And then that gives a little bit of a better reference point. But yeah, obviously, if it's safe to do so, and please don't send us someone else's photo. We get that a lot.
We do.
We need it from the source. So if you took the photo, send it to us. If your brother-in-law or someone else took the photo or you saw it on Facebook, don't send it to us because we can't use it unless it was the person who sent it. So obviously do it if it's safe to do so. But you always run into issues with viewer photos sometimes.
And let us know where you're taking it from, because that helps us track where some of that hail, that damage, everything was.
Yeah, and time is normally useful too. And sometimes we might relay that information onto the National Weather Service. So it's very useful for everyone involved in the weather community, because as much as we would like to know what's going on in every community, sometimes we do rely on the viewers to tell us what's going on. So hopefully we're done with the severe weather for a while. I don't have anything in the forecast here because I think we're all ready to be done. It's been very active so far this year.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, coming up on Studio 10, we have a lot of fun planned on Studio 10.
I heard about it.
And then obviously I'll have another look at the forecast with First at 4, and then Andy's in tonight, and he'll be in for the 90 minutes of news.
All right, I'm going to check in with our Falcon family really quick atop Spartan Stadium as you go get me a reporter, I believe.
Look at them.
I know. So there's still one egg, and if you guys remember, so there were 4 eggs laid by the Falcon couple, which are believed to still be Apollo and Freya, the ones who we had last year and the year before. They laid 4 eggs again this year. However, one was a little bit different color, so we're not sure if that's the one that is still waiting to be hatched. You can kind of see her kicking it a little bit there to the left. And then there are 3 chicks, or ayas, that have already hatched, and they've been very loud. There actually is audio on this that we can turn up in a little bit, but they're very loud. They're eating very well. Mom and Dad bringing home some good grub for the little ones, 3 of them, and of course eventually they will be tagged by MSU Fisheries and Wildlife Club. So I feel like she's looking at us right there. Doesn't it look like she's looking at us?
It does a little bit.
Like she's like, why are you watching us? Well, because your babies are adorable, that's why.
She knows we're there.
They do. Sometimes, like, when the one is standing, like, on the ledge right there, like, they straight up, like, stare at us. It's pretty funny. But, yeah, very fuzzy, very wobbly. They hatched, I believe, on Tuesday or Monday, one of the two, and their heads were very wobbly. It was really cute.
I've been coming over here periodically just to watch them through the day if I need a little break. Oh.
We're waiting for that last one to hatch. Last year, there was one that hatched days after their siblings. It was Pickles, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So we're hoping all 4 hatch again this year. But
all right.
In the meantime, Riley Connell, hello.
Good afternoon.
Hey. What are we looking forward to today?
Well, we have some very exciting announcements today about the new location of Lansing City Hall. So if this has been an ongoing discussion. If you've kept up with some of our stories about it, this was previously something that the city was going to do with a renovation of the Masonic Temple.
Okay.
So that was the original plan, was to turn the Masonic Temple into City Hall and take the current City Hall location, which is right downtown across from the Capitol. We're kind of taking a look in that direction right now. Yeah. So people are probably familiar with that already. That current location is going to be turned into a hotel. That is the plan as of right now. But they had a little bit of a pivot from that Masonic Temple plan after some of the members of the Lansing City Council became opposed to that renovation. So they're starting from scratch with a new spot. It is right on South Grand Avenue. A better locator for people might be that it is the CATA Transportation Center hub. Okay. So people are probably familiar with that part of downtown. This is kind of south of downtown, kind of south of the hustle and bustle of where the current City Hall is right now. So this is a plot of land that the city already owns. It's a parking lot. It used to be the Boar's Head Theater. Maybe some folks in Lansing are familiar with that site as well. Obviously no longer there. It is just kind of a flat parking lot right now. But yeah, they're planning to build a new city hall from the ground up on this location, as opposed to the renovation of the Masonic Temple. So we had an announcement from Mayor Shore earlier today. He gathered up some of the members of the media and a couple of local officials from the city of Lansing area to talk a little bit about what their plans are.
Okay.
So the blueprints have not been laid. The plans have not been communicated yet, as to what this build looks like. But we did get a timeline, from that blueprint process to the actual build of this new building in about 2 years is the timeline they
Do
gave
you
us.
know, so it's I feel like very rare that new city halls are built from the ground up.
Yeah.
I know the one in my hometown is still in a building from the 1800s.
Yeah.
So is
Exactly.
there any talk about maybe making it very modernized and kind of changing with the times that the citizens need?
There have been no indications of what this could look like or be like or what the feel of the building could be. It's, Mayor Shore earlier, because that question did, of course, come up. People wanted to know, what this was going to look like. And that was kind of his response, is that process starts today.
Okay.
Of what things are going to look like. So they should have some plans available. I want to say he said it about a 6 to 8 month timeline, that there would be some more definite plans for what this is going to look like. But obviously this build is happening with $40 million that were allocated by the state for the city to, either make some renovations to City Hall, build a new City Hall, but it had to go toward, really fixing up the current City Hall situation for the city of Lansing. So that's what those funds are going to be going toward now, is building on this new site. So there's still a lot of unknowns. So we'll be hanging tight, waiting to figure out, exactly what this is going to look like. But I know the mayor did say earlier he's hoping that bringing a city hall down to, this side of downtown, hopefully the side effect is people having some more interest in bringing some businesses to that area. If you have 100 or so people working down there, he said, it tends to draw in some places for people to get lunch or people to, walk to and from work or different areas in downtown. So there is also going to be some opportunity for them to partner with CATA as well, because, that's the hub of where every bus in Lansing is heading to and coming into. So there was a little bit of a convenience factor, it sounded like, for them to maybe a little bit more accessible for people to get to. So yeah, very interesting. It was good to go and kind of see the spot, to kind of stand right where that's going to be
And envision
built. Yeah, and try to picture what that's going to look like. There are some, there were some qualifiers that had to come into this project too. I know the funds from the state required that this project have something to do with historic preservation.
Okay.
So there's a couple of different points in which they're hoping to achieve that. The parking lot being the former site of the Boar's Head Theater is one of those ways. It's also, bordering one of Lansing's historic neighborhoods, so they're hoping that this can tie into, historic preservation in that way. So there were a lot of things said about this new project, but not quite sure how exactly it's going to look. Or how many floors. There's been some talks of having a customer service center on the first floor. That seems like it's sort of a want. It's sort of on their wish list. Yeah, most definitely. So they're talking more about what's on the wish list and what they would like to see. But what's actually going to happen is still a few months out.
And when can we expect to hear more of your story? News
10 at 6. You can tune in to find out a little bit more about some of these plans, hear some comments from some of the city council members who were out there earlier today talking about this project, and some members of the community who were weighing in on this project too, and just how they feel about the site. So make sure you stick around for that 90 minutes.
All right, so that will be on News 10 at 6. Here is what else we have coming up on over 90 minutes of news. First, we are going to be talking about microbots, also known as nanobots. They're microscopic in scale, and thousands of them can be delivered in just a single pill. Maureen Holliday will talk about how they could one day deliver life-saving medications to hard-to-reach places throughout the body. Then on News 10 at 5, News 10 Sports Owen Ozas introduces us to a bowling standout from Holt High School who helped the Rams win the state championship as a team last year, and how she's continuing to help the team succeed this season. Coming up on News 10 at 5:30, we have got the demand for after-school program access. It is coming up to that time of year. School will be out before we know it, and a lot of people are going to be looking for after-school programs for their kids. So we're going to talk about how the need to access those is being discussed. And then on News 10 at 6, along with Riley, talking about the City Hall moving in Lansing, we also will be talking about $400,000 in grant money for Jackson businesses on the city's south side and what that could do for those businesses. All of that is coming up again on over 90 minutes of news that starts with First at 4. We're going to take one more look at our feathered friends here as they keep those babies warm. As Colton said, it is a little bit cooler today. I don't know if she's eating rocks or finding some last minute food, but she is keeping those babies, 3 chicks and 1 egg still to be hatched, all up top of Spartan Stadium. Until then, make sure you tune into Studio 10, as Colton was saying. It's going to be a really fun show at 3 o'clock, so tune in for that. And then right after that, we will have News 10 at 4 o'clock, First at 4. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later.